Welcome back, 50ish fam. It's your new favorite midlife podcast with your three
Hello.
favorite besties, midlife besties. Tonight we are going to be talking about the empty nest. But what we kind of want to do is we don't want to talk about it in the traditional sense. We all know what it is. We all know it impacts us differently. We want to talk about how do we revamp it and reinvent the emptiness so we don't feel empty. So when they're gone, when they're grown, when they have to come back, when they are away at college, how do we reclaim our time as parents? Again, we've spoken on it pretty much in every episode or before, but not in depth. So um, before we start just talking about it, I'm gonna allow all of us will tell you just who we are, our kids, and then we're going to empty nest so that when if Tanya say my oldest, she got an oldest. That means there's somebody behind it. And then we'll go from there. So again, I'm Renee. I have a 21-year-old daughter that is a junior in college. So she's there full time, but she's here when she's here.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
just
I am Frida Griggs. I do have one son who is just turned 30 this year. So he has done the college thing, and now we are traversing life after college.
okay. Come on, Tanya.
And I'm Tanya, and I have three. And I have my oldest, he's 30. My second, she's a female, Kiana. She is 23. And then there's Kyler. Kyler's 18 years old, and he completed the empty nester for me. He shipped off to college in August. And so here I am trying to figure it out now.
Okay. All right. So the first thing I want to kind of throw out there is what do y'all think some of the myths are that are out there that when you actually become an empty nester you find out ain't necessarily true? For me, I think it's you're gonna have an automatic sense of footloose fancy free. Like your child gonna walk out the door, you gonna walk back in the door because traditionally we'll drop them off, or not everybody goes to college, they may be moving, so you may take the last load and come on back to the house, and they like, you remember the movie Risky Business when the parents left and he was take those old records. It's like a myth that, and it could be for some, but
Yeah.
I know that the consensus with the people that I've spoken with multiple kids, a child, uh it's not necessarily like that. The party don't start immediately for a lot of people.
Right.
So that's one of the myths I think is for me. I'll call it a myth.
I can agree with you in that you feel like, oh, no more uh, dealing with school and homework, and in the sense of as your child moved through elementary school, high school, for me, my son played sports. And actually, that was kind of a morning thing because he had been playing sports since he was 5 years old. And within that, we developed a community, a family, friends that we, as our kids grew, we became family. We watched all of our kids at various stages and growing up. And so um, I knew, and I don't know, maybe I had a little anxiety because again, we talked about our identity being attached to our children. And so I didn't know what to do, or when football season was coming up, usually there's a whole lot. I was very active, booster club, different things like that. And so it's like, man, I'm not going to have that. So what do I do? Um, yeah, that was different. So And I
So
don't know. I wasn't. I didn't have the attitude of footloose and fancy free, and don't know if I was just really delving into the myth. I knew I was going to miss my son. You know, that separation anxiety. Like, wow,
Mhm.
okay, he's not going to be here day to day. Not going to be able to check in with him, make sure he did this. You know, you did this, your homework, you did. That wasn't going to be the case, and so yeah, I was a little fearful. And I think it was more about me because he was ready. He
Mm,
was
yeah.
ready. Um,
So the myth is we think they gonna be somewhere crying. He was sliding across the phone singing "Just Take the Old Records Off the
see,
Floor." And
that
so yeah, because
morning,
we talk about the freedom, but what about the loneliness? Like you really get to missing, and
you
I think that
missed
comes first.
because think about it. That person, that baby, that child that you birthed has been with you for the last 18 years. And so, oh goodness, what am I going to, and we know that means, yeah, this is a whole new world. It's like college and then what's next. So as a parent, and again, that's what we strive for. That's what we raise them for. We
Mm-hmm.
want them to go, grow, and be successful. But
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, those apron strings, I wanted to tie mine around my son.
I
I can
know.
remember going, it wasn't the next weekend after we dropped him off. It might have been a couple of weekends. I show up and he's like, I was like, I just was coming to see. Is you
I
gonna
was
go ahead
sliding
and
across the
bring me
floor of my
this?
drawers. That's what he's saying. Like now I
Yeah,
got to get dressed. Yeah.
let me breathe. And I got
Yeah.
it. I got it. And then
Yeah.
that was that journey of trying to find out, who I was. So
Okay.
Mm,
not so much as a myth for me, but I just knew that I was just really, really gonna miss. And I only had one, but our
Right.
only child. So he
When
was.
I say myth, it's the fact that folk be acting like they gonna kick them out and be, and I maybe it's just me and you, but it just it ain't that ain't factual. So we
I
want to just
remember, yeah, I remember my mother telling me, and forgive me, mama. But I remember when I was graduating and the song Wild Thing was out during that time, or it had, it was a popular song. And so she said to me, yeah, when you leave, I'm gonna do the wild thing.
Ha!
And I looked at her like, what? But in fact,
Mhm.
I mean, it was again our first separation, and she truly had separation anxiety. She truly, I
Yeah.
guess for her it felt like I was abandoning her. It was
Yeah.
like, no, I'm going, I'm learning. This is what
It was
we
just y'all all the
for.
wait a
time.
minute.
It was
First of
just the
all,
two of y'all. Yeah.
backstory: me and Frida been friends since we were 9 years old. So when Frida left for college, me and Cherry became best friends. Me and her mom became
Wow.
best friends because we both missed her in another
Okay.
capacity. Because
Mm.
we had been at that point friends for most of our life. You know what I
Mhm.
Right.
mean? So if we
Right.
were 9 and she leaving at
Mhm.
18, that's half. And so yeah, we would just listen to Gladys Knight and it's
My
that true
18,
story, true
18,
story. So
19 years old.
yeah, so but
Wow.
again, that's the emptiness. We think she told me she gonna do the wild thing. You got to stop, get off my shoulder crying first.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
Right.
where,
yes.
where he
Right.
gonna go? Where he coming to? Because both
Mm-hmm.
of us and him messed up. So come
Right.
on, Tanya. So what
And
did
I
you
definitely can identify with Nicholas because I too was ready to go. August couldn't come fast enough. I remember
Yeah.
that clear as day when I graduated. I couldn't wait till it was time to go to college because I was
Wow.
anxious to start anew. So I understood that about him.
Right.
It wasn't about him. This was totally me and all my little issues. And, I'm going to miss my baby. And that's, he's my
Mm-hmm.
only one. And oh, goodness,
Mm-hmm.
and it started like senior year. Things became um, evident,
Mm-hmm.
seeing pictures, all the whole college application, preparing for that summer, packing and all that. It was settling in for me. I wasn't going to put my burdens and thoughts on him because I want him to
Right.
be excited in his own little space about going to college. And I held and harbored my sadness, gladness too, because I always, raised him to be explorative, to go.
mm-hmm,
Don't ever be
mm-hmm.
afraid to go outside of what you know and what's familiar. So
Gotcha. Okay, Tanya. What about the myth?
Well, the myth was because my first son, we dropped him off. I cried like a baby. Like, oh my God. And even though I had Keon at the time, but just dropping him off, and he was only 2 hours away. But I was just like, oh God, is he gonna be okay? It's gonna be all right. And I started calling. He was like, Mom, I'm straight. Eventually he stopped answering my calls.
Yeah,
And I
because you
was
didn't
like,
stop calling the parent. You didn't take heed.
okay, but I would say a good month in, I was like, okay. So with Kiana, it was different for me. She exhibited more of a maturity level that I was like, I'm good. She's gonna be fine. And then we got there. Her roommate was one of the girls that she used to cheer with when she was on a cheering squad. So I was just like, oh, okay, you're fine.
Mhm.
And then the last one. First off, the plan that I had for him was to stay and go to school here in Georgia somewhere. So I had applied for him to different colleges and everything like that. And so one night he came into my room and he said, Mom, can I use your phone for a second? I said, sure. I was asleep, of course. So the next morning I get on the bus and I started getting these acceptance letters from Jackson University in Mississippi. And I was like, what is this about? He had applied for school, got accepted. He was like, Mom, I got to get ready to go because he had missed the move-in date, everything. And I was like, so Kyler, you don't have anything because I want to send my kids off prepared and be ready. Have your
No,
trunk
we
together.
want to know, was you preparing yourself? Like, did you
Well, at this
even if he
point,
went in
no,
Georgia?
because the whole thing leading up to that point, he was gonna be at home at school, going somewhere local. But
Like
now
local that you can see him every day, or local just in Georgia?
no, local, I could see him every day. He was going to go to Atlanta Metropolitan. No, Atlanta. What's the Atlanta? Shoot, the college over on Panthersville. I can't even remember the name of it.
Oh,
But that's
perimeter,
yeah,
Georgia
because
perimeter.
yeah, he said he wanted to stay home and work and go to school. I was like, okay, that's fine. But now all of a sudden, you done put in to go to this school, and it's 6 hours away. So my anxiety kicked in because I was like, you how Kyler, you can't just go because you got accepted. He was like, why? Why can't I go? I said, so we packed him up with whatever we had. We had to use a trunk from that his sister had because she had graduated and she brought her trunk home. And we drove the 6 hour truck. Well, we get there, there's no housing. So then I went into double overdrive of, oh my gosh, oh my God. Well, Ma, I gotta stay. They said they probably have some housing open up in the morning. No, on Monday or whatever it was. I said, probably. He was like, yeah, yeah, we'll be fine. We'll be fine, whatever, whatever.
Okay,
So
but
he
we
stayed in the
this.
hotel.
I want you to get to the empty nest. I got you. I
Well,
want you to get to the empty nest.
okay, I'm sorry.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
He
It
there.
is
He's settled.
yeah. Well, finally, eventually I was just trying to lead up to how it took me to get over being anxious and just being able just because he had stayed in a hotel for like 3 or 4 days. So I'm constantly trying, and I'm like, Lord, I can't keep driving back at 6 hours away. So finally, he went, got his housing. He did all of this himself. He got in the housing. They put him in a loft or whatever. It's not a real dorm room, but it's like 2 or 3 minutes from campus or something of that sort. And he's like, I'm good. I'm good, Mom. I'm good. So it took me about, I guess, mid-September before I was really like able to exhale because I was like, this is unreal. And I think it's because it's 6 hours away. And the other ones, when they went, I could just be like, oh, I can get to you pretty fast. But now, but
Okay.
he's good. I'm good too. And so
Okay. So that's
now,
what we want to
mhm,
hear. Like
yeah,
that
I'm
part
good.
right
I am good now. I just got to figure out what to do with my time because I don't have any baseball games to go to. I mean, I was constantly at baseball games from the age that they were 3 years old, all of them.
So
So
have you
now
started visualizing what
I have
go to
no
a Braves
idea.
game if you miss baseball? I mean, they're a professional team, but
Yeah.
have you started visualizing?
No, I haven't. I mean, because I was like, I'll go to a Braves game and I like it, for the
No, I
food pretty
mean
much.
visualizing what your next looks like is
No,
what.
well, like I said in one of our other podcasts, I want to model. So I've been looking into that. But you have to be careful now because it's not like it was when I was first asked about being a model. One of my girlfriends, Gabby, she was like, you should do it. But now there's so many scams until you can't trust anyone, you know? And to me, a lot of modeling is done online. But it's like if I put pictures up there, I don't want people taking them down, doing manipulating them, just things of that nature. Just kind of
So
paranoid
you did
about it, I
research.
guess.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah,
It's
it's a
some
lot of
legit
research.
places. Most people starting by buying clothes, posting them, and tagging the
Right.
people, and it's coming like that. But so okay, so let's transition into this. Who let's redefine motherhood, womanhood. So who are you when mother or ma is not your title 24/7 anymore? Because he's good. So everything you
Hmm.
just said about your youngest is he did everything himself when it came to where he is now.
You
Um,
did.
you said you were applying to Georgia to stuff here. He got your phone and did something in 5 minutes and he got accepted. So you know he's good. Plus, he has two older siblings that
Yeah.
he could ask about anything. I don't know if they're in a position to help, but they really in a position to counsel. If they
Yeah.
can't send him $5 or $10, they know how to
Hmm.
tell him how to make his $5 or $10 stretch.
Yeah.
So now that mother isn't your title 24/7, modeling is one of your things. And so you that's what you see yourself like taking off as a model.
I do. Um, and I'm not gonna say unfortunately, but it's like when you have a spouse too, you have to kind of be careful about the type of things that you want to do outside of now that I'm not just known as mom, I've always been known as Pete's wife. And so um that's just a different type of subject to talk about. But I do want to model. I do. And so like I am researching, trying to find a legit way of going about it. But like you said, it's just tagging yourself on clothes that you wear and stuff. Because I did look into some stuff, but things are just changing so fast. It's like, oh, okay, that sounds good. That sounds good. And you start doing it, then boom, it's taken away. Because I've
Can I
done that
make
on a couple of things.
can I make
Go
a
ahead, Free.
point? Something
Yeah.
that just crossed my mind. And again, this is what makes us unique, but yet, work being able to work together. So I can attest to what it's like being an empty nester as a single parent. And so
Hmm.
for you, Renee. But you just said something, Tanya, that I didn't think or put into the equation is okay, while your children, are going on about their lives, you still play the role as wife. And so you may have a little extra, because again,
Hmm.
we're defining, as Renee said, ourselves at 50-ish,
Hmm.
being nurses, our kids are, pretty much grown and gone to an extent. But you
Hmm.
still have your husband that
Hmm.
you have to find yourself, but still be the wife.
Right.
Now,
Right.
how has that changed? What's the
It's
dynamics with being? Because sometimes people use this opportunity when when they feel like their kids are gone and on their own. They use this time to kind of reinvent themselves as a couple.
right.
'Cause people
Right.
tend to grow apart a little bit when your day to day is focused on
Hmm.
raising kids and just making a living. But
Yeah.
now the
Yeah.
focus can now be on you
Hmm.
and your marriage. So
Yeah. That's true.
how has that, as far as for you, been?
Yeah. It's still kind of new to me. I know that sounds crazy because we've been married for 25 years. But it's like He tells me I don't talk. He tells me all the time I don't talk. And I guess I'm really not a talker. At least I don't, I talk, but I don't talk constantly. I just don't. And he was like, "You just don't talk. You don't talk." And I'm like, "What do you want to talk about?"
Is that
So
something you've discovered
yeah,
since,
it
you know?
is. It is. It's like, okay, well, what. So that's something that we as a couple have to work on. Um, I'm open to having some type of counseling to help me to be a wife because I really don't know how to be a wife, I guess. I don't know. I mean, like being a mom, it just came naturally. But trying to be that wife that the nurturing type wife, I'm thinking. And so I probably need to get some way to define that within myself. So it's a work. It's a work. It's not ready. Don't want to give up on it or anything like that, but
Mhm.
it's a work. It is. And I have to be able to do it and still know who I am as a person. I don't want to get lost again in being a wife and a mother. I have to realize who I am as a person.
I think self-discovery is one of the most beautifulest things you could go through when
Do
you,
Hmm.
that first,
yeah.
Hmm.
and then
Renee,
it'll define you as a wife.
you
Hmm.
said something, and I wrote it down yesterday in our meeting. You said the house wasn't quiet, but the mirror was.
Yep.
Say
So
it
I,
again.
yeah, the house wasn't
Yeah,
quiet.
they
It
said
wasn't.
that. Yeah.
So when my daughter left, when I came back home, from dropping her off, um, looking around at a living room that had been cluttered for 2, 3 months because of the
Hmm.
stuff coming in and nowhere to put it, coming in to really an empty house, was for me. I had mixed emotions. It was freeing, for me, because I felt like you did it. Like when I left my daughter at that school, I was on cloud nine. I was not crying. I was crying because I could see us. I was holding, but mine was gonna be happy, and I didn't want to give
Hmm.
her the wrong message. Like I'm happy to be dropping you off. Um, but I felt like I accomplished it. Like I did it. So many obstacles had been in the way for those 18, 19 years. Co-parenting wasn't always something that we did well. You know what I mean? And so the house was still welcoming. It's when I looked in the mirror that the quiet got loud because I didn't
Mm.
know who I was looking at, and
Right.
so
Right. Hmm.
I literally, I was like, you just dropped her off with this. You looking like you hitchhiking. You know what I mean? Just trying to make sure everything was the way it was. So it was the mirror. It was me not even
Hmm.
remembering or having a clue what I like to do. Yeah, if someone invited me somewhere, I would
Exactly.
go. I'm
Yeah.
I'm down for a good time. Um, I'll watch a football game. I'll watch a baseball game. I'll come to your birthday party. But what do I like to do? Like with all this time you have, what do
Hmm.
you where do you start?
Hmm.
And so
Like,
um
where did you leave off? Like, where did you leave off before the kids and your husband? What were you doing?
And
yeah,
that's a
What were
good
you doing?
point. That's where you
Yeah.
pick up. I mean,
Yeah.
where are
as
you?
simple as that may sound, because as you're trying to figure out, Tanya, what that's where
Yeah.
you
What was
start.
I
It's like,
doing?
okay,
Yeah.
what was I
Yeah,
into before I even had,
Right.
my first
yeah,
child?
yeah,
And and again, I did. I had trouble trying to figure out what it was that I really liked.
Hmm.
Who was I? Because a lot of things were circumstantial. You
yeah,
like
Right.
you just based on circumstances,
yeah,
and of course, being a parent takes precedence over everything.
yeah,
That's your
Hmm.
priority. So it's doing a deep dive into who I am, and sometimes it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's very uncomfortable to be introspective and call
Right.
your stuff out
Hmm.
to be able to move forward. You know
Hmm.
what I'm
that's
saying?
right.
Like, okay, let me. Let me the good, bad, and the ugly.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Yeah,
let me
what
write it
role did
down.
Renee play? Because
Yeah.
my
Mm-hmm.
daughter didn't require me to lose myself.
Right.
It's something that
See.
I did, and I don't
Yeah.
think any of our kids
Right.
require that.
Right.
And
Required us to do that.
I don't think it's be a mother or bust. I don't think that's true. Because
Mm-hmm.
again, I think that you can healthy. So that for me, being someone who desires to be married, I won't lose myself again. So I'm not going to put on airs. I'm not going to pretend to be a cooker every day, or unless I'm a cooker every day. Or I'm not doing. I know there are certain things you do or say that makes a person stay interested in all of that. But I want him to meet. I'm authentic. I'm 54, so I don't got no. I ain't got no. If you peeling back layers, it's just to get because I just don't know you yet. But I don't. I'm not gonna lose myself in being his wife. I want to be goo goo gaga about him, but I want him to know some days, some Saturdays, a good Saturday for me is flipping on the Golden Girls, taking a shower, putting on the fresh set of pajamas, and getting back in the bed. I want him to know that. You understand what I'm saying? And that's what I want to do. It ain't depression. It's I look forward to this. And so, yeah, and I want him to be authentically him. You understand? If you smoke cigarettes, say that so I can make a conscious choice. Don't be running outside trying to, because you free to be whoever you are. So at this point, Tanya, if the self-discovery comes, everything else will fall in place. Because if you say it like you want your partner to support, you ain't got to support me for me to be me. You understand what I'm saying? I mean that. I ain't gonna disrespect you, but how do we? How do you become who you are? Because we in another phase of life. The kid's grown, even though the baby still is a dependent. He good, and he only gonna get better. The longer he stay away, the more acclimated he's gonna become to it.
Mm-hmm.
So then, how do you redefine your dreams? How do we? Because now I'm telling myself, okay, Renee, like I got a million, I got a list right here of stuff I'm writing down, like because it's my time. You know what I mean? And if I know I poured all into being a sister, a mama, a daughter, an employee, then I get some of that. I get to get a lot of that. You understand what I'm saying? And whatever that look like, it don't really. I ain't married, so I ain't got to consider the next person. But yeah, the self discovery, and like Frida said, it's hard looking in the mirror and saying you did this. It is,
Yep.
but
I
it's
know.
necessary.
Mm-hmm.
It's necessary. It is
Mm-hmm.
necessary. Like you, so how now what? And if you did, it ain't a beat up because being a good mama ain't nothing to be ashamed of. But now, how do you tell them? Oh, I ain't answering. No, I'm not. I'm not answering. Cause did you say Kevin stop answering when he wanted you to stop calling?
Yeah, he
Okay.
did.
And guess what? I don't mean no harm. If something go on and you need my attention, you'll get it whenever I find it because if I need to know, God gonna orchestrate it so I know right away. I just at some point I look. Kelsey sending me. She want me to do this. She want me to do this. Can you remind me of this? And I'm saying you the one showed me how to use the calendar on my phone. Put it in your calendar so you can remind yourself. Because I got a whole toddler that I'm responsible for. So I got doctor's appointments for him, doctor's appointments for me. Did he take the allergy medicine today? Is we over the 5 days of the inhaler? So I got other stuff to do. So I just, for me, the emptiness ain't empty. And if I'm in here by myself, good. Because I shared space with people for 54 years. I lived in my mama's house. I lived with her dad. My brother died. I moved back home to my mama house, and then my daughter in there the whole time after 2004. So I'm proud to say I don't want to be a victim of the emptiness. And to anybody, it's okay to feel however you feel. You're gonna miss your kids. It is because you've done it for so long. But if you do happen to be one of the ones that's sliding across the floor, doing it, just take the, don't feel bad about that either. You earn that right. You understand what I'm saying? And so yeah, I just because Tanya, we know that the empty nest was the one you wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
So gave you some homework 4 weeks ago because you supposed to be done put your plan in motion. So we waiting to hear model what? Because Frida says
Yeah.
she take good pictures. She know how to do filters. You know, she it take her 4 days
Yeah.
to publish because she over there chopping and screwing. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
They were getting them together. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I haven't. I think I have not dove deep into that. After
oh what
Carletta's
happened?
death, it kind of took the breath out of me. I ain't gonna even lie to you. It hasn't stopped me, but it kind of was like, phew, So I'm getting better. I am as the days go by. Um, so it's not that I'm not gonna do it. It's not that. I just had to readjust my time. Um, because now, I mean, I haven't even been able to get my hair done. So it's just, little things. But I want to be right when I get ready to start taking my pictures. I want to be the look that I want to have. So I've
That's
been
your
working
plan.
on stuff like that. Hmm?
That's your
Whatever say
plan.
Frida.
So I was
What's my
saying that's how you start your plan. What helped
mm-hmm.
me too was, and I learned this a long time ago. It's like you write stuff down and you won't forget it. So
Right.
journaling, because
Mm-hmm.
I'm listening to you, and so I'm on the outside looking
Mm-hmm.
in. So I'm listening to you, and I'm like, that's the plan. That's how you start. And I don't know
Mm-hmm.
if you realize it because you're talking from a perspective of these are the things that I'm gonna do, but that's your plan right there. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, we'll
Yeah.
do the things that it takes for me to become model ready.
Right.
Whether it's
Absolutely.
exercise,
Absolutely.
health, skincare,
Yeah.
whatever. Let
Remember
me tell you
yeah,
this.
we were talking about
We're talking about
exercising and
that.
stuff,
Yeah. So
and I've
write
been
it
able to
down.
walk
Yeah.
and just felt like it was a walk that I thought I couldn't do or
Yep.
didn't
And
want
you
to
did it.
do because I can walk because I can, but I just didn't want to. And it wasn't bad for me. It wasn't like I was out of breath or just sweating so bad until I need to change my shirts or anything like that. It was like you walk and you're fine. So it's
Mhm.
something you should do and you will do. So I did say that I need to get some strength training just to for me, for myself, not to lose weight or anything like that, but I do want strength training.
Mhm.
So I have like today was busy. I didn't get to go through my emails like I wanted to, but I was saying that I had sent over my doctor's stuff about me going to the gym at my job because it's easier for me to do it that way. I can do it after work or before work, and because they have the showers and everything like that. So if that doesn't come through for me, I will go ahead and join a gym. But I just want to be able to walk and do strength training. Um, I'm not going to get a personal trainer right now, but I am. That's my first goal. Like one of my other goals was to get a car, and thankfully my husband was able to get me one. So
Check
I'm
that
good on
box.
that end.
Check that
That's
box.
straight. Yep, it is.
So next.
And yeah, absolutely. So now it's just getting so I'm able to go to a gym and be able to drive myself, back and forth or whatever. So that's been another that's the second goal coming up. Is getting into the gym and being able to start where I've been before. I've been there before. Like it's been 40 years ago, but I've been there before.
Where's there?
Mhm. That to the gym. I'm sorry, to the gym. I used to work out all the
Oh,
time.
And I feel like, and well, I know, let me say that. The more I worked on me, the more things came about. And
Hmm.
I was able to kind of put my model self together. When I say
Right.
model, it's like, what do I want to do? Yeah, I want to be impactful. I don't want to just sit and, like they always say, it's the dash that matters. My
Right.
birth date is
Hmm.
one thing, my end date is one thing, but what did I do in the middle? And so I took my passions, like, yeah, okay, I like to help people. I like to be in the community. I like, you know, uplifting my sisters, women, all of that. And so I did the things that were going to put me in a position to be able to do that. And so along that journey, there were some other things that I discovered. Like I knew that my relationship with my father needed to be improved. He had
Hmm.
reaching. I was just like, I know you, you know me, we do all the niceties, but there was something there.
Oh, okay.
And so I had to kind of put that aside. This is the ugly that I'm talking about. But I said it's hypocritical of me to want to impart and be impactful to women and be empowering if my house is not together.
Right.
I had to get my house together. And so yeah, I had a conversation, with him. It wasn't a good conversation initially, but we worked through the kinks,
Mm.
through it all. And I was able
Okay.
to forgive him for a lot of things that
Okay.
I had been holding my whole entire life. Knowing my
Really?
father again, just going through the motions, because yeah, my father was there. He
Okay.
supported, helped my mother financially, supported me, all that kind of stuff. But I didn't
Mm.
have a relationship, a real
Okay.
relationship. We just had a
Okay.
surface relationship.
Gotcha.
And so I knew, I'm like, okay, yeah, it needs to be a little bit better than that. Because he is
Mhm.
reaching. He was reaching. It wasn't
Really?
reach. He
But you
wasn't
weren't
reaching
receptive
how
to
I
it,
wanted
huh?
him to reach,
Gotcha.
but he was reaching. So that was an ugly, you
Mm-hmm.
know. I mentioned that I was married. I had to figure out why was it that I felt like, and again, that marriage just wasn't for me. So I had to do a lot of repair and fixing regarding that. So that's what I mean, the good, bad, and the ugly. Because I knew it ultimately, I'm thankful that I kind of figured out the type of woman that I wanted to end up being. I want to be a grandmother. I want to be an active grandmother. I want when that time comes. But yeah, okay, what do you do? I'm looking at retirement. I don't want to be just sitting on a sofa somewhere in my old age, watching old
Right.
shows. I wanted to be out and be all of that. So again,
Mm-hmm.
I started putting together a plan, journaling,
Right.
writing, and I'm thankful. That's why I said small victories, big victories. You purchased
Mm-hmm.
a car, check that box. Your next thing, check that box. I did the same
Mm-hmm.
thing as those things happen. I checked the box. And so
Right.
like I said, as you go, different things come up. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and you meet different people. You're in situations that you know push you, hold you accountable, and then you begin to want better for yourself.
Right.
You elevate. It's like some things I'm just like I know what my resolve is. I know what's a time waster, what I'm not going to allow in my life. I don't have to at this beautiful age of 54. It's a lot of things I'm just not it doesn't serve me. And I always
Right.
say, if I can't add value to your
Mm-hmm.
life, you can't add
Right.
value to mine. I don't have time.
What is it? What's the
I don't
point?
have to.
Right.
Don't waste my time.
Absolutely.
I
And
can move
value.
on, and
Value
that
is the
shuts
word.
off that old and opens up for so much more that I just you holding back in this space, you holding on to something that just doesn't prove well, and so when you let it go, bigger, better things happen.
Mm-hmm.
So I do a measurement. It's like I want to be, okay, this time next year, I want to be doing something different. I want to be in a different space. And so those are, it helps you set goals. And then you become, that thing or that person that you set out to be. Because you discover a lot on the way. You
Right.
have a goal, but it's so much in between that. But it's a beautiful thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very beautiful thing, self-discovery. And I'm glad that I was afforded the opportunity and that I recognized that, okay, yeah, you did good raising
Right.
your son. Your
Right.
village, your village. Okay, now what?
Mm-hmm.
And so
Mm-hmm.
that's here we are on a podcast,
Mm-hmm.
2025. In
Right.
2015, this was not
And
even,
nowhere around. Right.
you know, but that's
Mm-hmm.
that's that's progress, if you will.
Right.
That's relevance. That's doing something that you didn't think you
Mm.
would be. Now
Right.
we're here. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm on
I
the soapbox.
agree.
I apologize.
Oh
I
no, you
agree though. I do. I agree. Absolutely.
okay. So because both of you all have grown kids, um, what's I'll start with you, Tanya. So I know that the baby is fresh. So you say he made you. You said something. Now he is the one that made it be an emptiness. He didn't complete it. He created it, so to speak, because he gone. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
But how do you deal with your 30-year-old and your 23-year-old versus him? And did they prepare you on the letting go? Things like that, or not necessarily letting go, but yeah, letting them figure it out. Or did you feel like you always had somebody that you needed to catch before they failed?
And well, with them, it wasn't, I don't know. It was hard. With Kelvin, I cried like crazy, my oldest. And like I said with Kiana, I was like, she was okay. But I think with Kyler, because he's the baby, and not to get into too much of when he was born, it was hard. It was difficult. It was a difficult delivery for me. And so all of us carry him like he's still a baby. Even Kiana to this day. She did not want him to go to school. Not that far. So I think we babied him for so long until it was just like, oh, I gotta let you go. You 18 years old and you're ready to go on your own. Not but he's the smartest. I shouldn't say that.
No,
But
what I mean is Kelvin is 30. When I say let
mhm,
go, I'm talking about let go. Like, how do you, that's what I mean. Like, where you ain't, if he don't come to you with it, you don't take it to him. Like, if you, that's what I mean, let go. Not just because he gone. You ain't have to
yeah,
let go. He gone.
mhm.
But I'm saying, how do you deal with your grown kids versus him? And did they prepare you to be like, let him handle it? Or are you still,
Mhm. I guess they did prepare me to let me handle it, but it was me accepting that, if that makes sense. Because, I was just like, I wasn't ready. Because he's my baby, and I was just like, but they never said, Mom, you gotta let him go. You gotta let him do this. Because I think I baby all of them. So they
okay,
probably,
that ding, 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 ding,
yeah,
that's
I
the answer.
baby all of them. So they
Still,
probably feel like that's normal. Like that's how you're supposed to do.
still is what I'm saying. Still, you
Still.
baby.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. So they
Not
really did because you handle all of them the same.
right. The
Okay.
same. Yeah, I
Okay.
did. I was like, it, I don't
Now
know.
saying that out loud, hearing your
Mhm.
hearing yourself say that out loud,
Mhm.
what
Yeah,
comes
I
to mind?
baby all of them. I did.
What comes to mind? What about now? Hearing you say that, the 30-year-old, the 23-year-old, and the 18-year-old.
Yeah, I gotta let them go and let them. I mean, and I feel like I let them go, but it's just like,
Look in the mirror and be
um,
honest with yourself.
I
Have
mean,
because
it's just like when I don't talk, I feel like I should talk to them every day.
that's
I do.
fine.
I feel like I should talk to them every day, but I try not to. Like, we got some stuff coming up for Christmas, and Kelvin's like, "Mom, I'm not gonna be able to go." I'm like, "What? It's Christmas, But then I said, you know what? That man grown. He want to do something with however he want to do it. So you gotta let it go.
Because
Even
he have to
Kyler,
start building his own. And
yeah,
I'm gonna tell
his
you
own
this. I'm
family.
gonna tell you this.
Hmm.
I was in a relationship before, and he had a sibling that was married, and the tradition was um, just from years back, like when they were young. The tradition was uh, a certain holiday was always at his mom's house. So we got a married sibling now who I'm sorry, y'all. I've been coughing. I just been on mute. So I'm sorry, y'all.
Hmm.
Um, we got a grown sibling now married, and his wife is now preparing herself to learn how to cook this and this and this, whatever's to the holiday. And it was a whole big deal because he stayed home and watched the football game there and ate his wife turkey or whatever it was that she made and did not come. And so it was a whole big deal. And I was sitting there looking at mine like, at what point do you back up and then you start coming over here and you eat at my house? Because this the next generation. Like, we the aunties now. So once upon a time when we used to go to Bay House, Frida, who is
Mhm.
Frida's great aunt, deceased great aunt, or Big Mama, who is Tanya's really great aunt. When we used to go to their house, it's our turn now. So when do you like? So if he's doing it, ain't that the goal? Like, and he should, yeah.
Hmm.
And I get what I know you saying. You like let it be grown, but
Hmm.
so are you really? Have you really let go in the mirror?
Yeah.
Let me put
I
that
mean,
mirror
I've
right here.
uh, I have I'm because I'm when he said he wasn't going, this was a family trip. I was like, kill it. But then I said, you know what? No, you do what you do best for you and your relationship. And even with Kyler, they had not even told him about the trip. And he was like, what trip? I said, oh, you didn't know about the Christmas trip? He was like, no. That says to me he may have something else planned, you know? And that's okay. That's fine.
What
That's what he
about
wants
you?
to do.
Do you want to go?
I
Like, do
do. I
oh,
do.
okay,
I do. I want
okay.
to. Because we usually don't go on trips, but this will be a nice something new, something different, and it's right on the in the holiday season. And
So you and your
because
husband get to dash through the snow
yeah, yeah. Well, it's in Orlando. I
without
don't
worrying
know
about
if
the
it's gonna
kids.
snow.
Oh well,
Yeah,
wherever
yeah.
she's snow, but yeah,
Oh,
No,
wherever you're
I mean, I'm
going,
just saying Christmas.
that's the
Yeah.
time.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
that's
It's
the time
fine.
you are.
We don't have any grandkids or anything like
Mhm.
that. So until that
Mhm.
time comes,
What
it's
about
like
each
we can do.
other?
Yeah, that's why I said. I
Oh,
said until that
okay.
time comes, we can just do whatever we want. Even then, because I don't. I like I tell my kids all the time, not that type of grandma. I don't think I'll be that girl, and it could be different because I have a girlfriend that just had a grandbaby, and she was like, "Girl, you just don't understand." I said, "Okay." So right now, I'm just like, yeah, I'll keep it or whatever, whatever. But I don't know. We'll see. But whenever it happens, if it happens, we'll be prepared for it. But now we're able to just go and do what we want to do and not have to worry about, oh, okay, yeah, we got to make sure we got enough money for this person and yeah, this person for that and that and well, okay, well, where you gonna sleep and how you gonna wear? Have you packed your stuff? It was
Okay.
a
So does that
whole
feel good?
yeah, it does. It does because I'm that type of person though. Because I'm just gonna keep double checking. Like, okay, let me make sure everybody got you. Everybody, you did you pack this? Did you pack that? That's how I am. I don't have to worry about that anymore. Even with them in school, don't worry about it. So like with Kyle, I hadn't asked not one time, not one time. You got enough soap? You got enough detergent? You got this? I haven't asked. I'm like, oh, yeah, he all right because I guess if he needed, he'll ask me.
I
So.
learned, and I say, I think I've shared that this with Renee is that you have to trust that what you taught them.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had to trust what I brought Nicholas up in was what
Mm-hmm.
he was going to do, and I can't
Right.
worry about if he make a choice not to do that. But I know that I
Right.
laid a good foundation. So yeah, when
Right.
you need toothpaste, soap, toilet tissue, all that, you know when you need it.
Yeah.
I'm not,
So,
it was freeing for me not to have to
mhm,
worry about it because that's your own thing. And now,
Yeah.
especially as a grown
It,
man, like
it
I know
really
you can
feel good.
identify with
It
Kevin. That's their household. That's what you do. I ain't got to. When I go to the store, I'm buying for me. I
yeah.
don't got
right.
to, plan and think and do.
Hmm.
If
Listen,
I choose to buy something's on sale and say, "Oh, I know Nicholas like these. I'll get these." That's just a choice.
a
But
courtesy. Just but
Hmm.
yeah, just as a courtesy. But
listen,
yeah, I've raised him, and so yeah, I trust
listen,
what I taught him, and so
Yeah.
now it's up to him to employ everything that I taught.
Yeah.
listen. My daughter was at work today. Somebody had some chili. So she said she coming back home this weekend. And she said, "Oh, I can't wait to go home." So she said to another friend, "I can't wait to go home because my mom can make me some chili this weekend." And the friend turned around and said, "Why we can't make none tonight?"
Mm-hmm.
And Mom, what's in your chili? Oh, hold on, that don't forget the the ask them do they like because
Mm-hmm.
everybody yeah. So so I'm that felt so good. Then I turned around and was like, "Well, do you want me to I got a little extra money. You want me to put it on my card?" "No, mom, keep your money." And
See,
then we'll get you some
Girl,
green onions too if you want some. And then
Hmm.
hold on, wait a minute.
But just like you're saying, same thing. Same thing. I don't think you
Hmm.
baby Kelsey, but you
Do it.
just have
Yeah,
to
and this
trust.
what
You
you
have to trust.
so
They got it. They
they
got it.
got it. They got it. So okay, so let's because we want to make sure we cover everything. So again, I am embracing and rejecting the emptiness myth. I don't know. I'm good. You know what I mean? I was sad. Um, and then I'm gonna tell a little bit about my story, but I do want to get into the boomerang because Frida is now Frida a sandwich and a boomerang. I don't know what I don't my poor friend, my poor friend, not my poor friend, my friend good.
Yeah.
But I'll just give a little backstory. What the summer before my daughter left for college, I kept telling her, "You're gonna miss me when you leave." She was like, "Girl, honey, baby." About a day or so, I didn't know my baby was down there distraught because I'm in here drinking
I remember
limerita,
that.
and I'm for real. I'm in here like really
Hmm.
sitting back, like, baby, you got a whole college student. I don't care what they say about you. I don't care what they think about you. You did it, and she's successful. She just graduated, top 10 students. Just I was in here like, pat yourself on the back. My baby texted me one day and said, "Can I call you?" And all I heard was, "Mommy, I can't believe you left me here." And I was saying, "Baby, this is school you wanted to go to. You wanted to go to this school." And even after what drew you to the school changed and you no longer wanted to do it, excuse me, you confirmed you still wanted to go. So again,
Right.
so anyway, so I was distraught because she was distraught. But I was also determined, like, you got to complete this first semester. Like, no, I'm not
Right.
coming to get you.
Right.
You
No.
ain't even gave it a chance. Like, get to
Right.
football season because this is a HBCU. Football season is huge. Get to the first game so you can see everybody come out. The alumni, baby. 3 years later, she be getting back in her little Honda hitting the road like, I'll holler at your player. So,
Mhm.
um,
Yeah.
it was really rough though hearing her cry, and she was thought I had you would think I had she was I can adult I can parent you over this phone. I got you here. Let me just you can let my hand go. I'm gonna always be beside you. I'll always be behind you. If it's a guardian angel, if it's right now and I got to be a hell's angel, whatever it's got to be, you got me, but you got it. You understand what I'm saying? And so if I told her these words, if I didn't think everybody know they kid or kids, if I didn't think you could handle being away, you'd have been right here on what it is, Hope Scholarship, baby. You understand what I'm saying? We wouldn't be on no pay. You'd have been because I ain't gonna force you into something I know you're not ready for. But you
Right.
can't just do. I'm used to you being across the hall, then, baby. So I stayed on the phone a lot of nights, just with empty, just to have her know I was here for. You know what I mean? Uh, did a lot of yeah, made a couple of trips to reassure her it was all good. But we're gonna go into the boomerang. That's just my story. I was sad because she was sad, but I had never been so happy about somebody being sad in my life. Because every tear she cried let me know, for every time you doubted yourself as a mama, for every time you feel like you fell short because you paid the mortgage and couldn't get you this until the next paycheck, for every time you gave her what she wasn't missing, none of that material stuff. She was missing what I gave her with my time, my emotions, all of me. And so my nest was a little bit different. It was empty, it was quiet, but it was me realizing you put everything before you, everything before you. And so pray your prayers. All my prayers came true. My daughter graduated the way I spoke it, the way I visualized it. I don't know why I left myself out of the equation. And so my advice to everybody is include yourself in the equation. So if you want to make sure she go to the nail shop, get you some doggone claws. Get you you feel me, like get you a pedicure with you some diamond studs and all this. So whatever it is that you like. So
Right.
don't lose yourself, and just know that it's blessings big enough for all of us. You can still go on a girls trip and come back to that same love or them same kids or that same whatever was going on when you left. And so that was my thing. I just was, it felt foreign because I just didn't know what I liked and what I wanted to do, and trying to put that together, still trying to put that together is exciting to me because I did have to realize this was on you, player. This wasn't on her. And so yeah, so we're gonna get into the boomerang. Boomerang is a child that has left home, lived on their own, and then for whatever reason is back home. And so Frida got a lead on a lot of the subjects that we go cover midlife, because it's real life and she in some real life. Yeah. And so remind y'all, I got it written down, I'll tell y'all, but come on, Fred, with the boomerang.
So, okay, an empty nester, got through that with no problems. Um, so when my son came home from college, it was okay. Well, what are you gonna do? You got to figure something out for yourself, that kind of thing. Which he did. He figured it out, and I knew because, and I can identify. Once I went away to college and was there, it's hard to come back home and live under the rules of your parents. Okay, holiday season is fine. That's temporary because you're gonna go right back to
Yeah,
school.
yeah,
But when you come home, yeah, your parents are still gonna have rules.
yeah,
And so I identified with that because same thing happened with me. It was like, yeah, it was hard to come home and be under rules and curfew and this, that, and other. I practically lived on my own. And so, but I, was taught, raised about, having respect for my mother and what she wanted, for me. So it was her house, her rules. And so same thing with Nicholas when he came back, had to establish some rules. It's like, what are you gonna do? You got to get a plan. And so he did just that and moved out, once he came home from college and was successful. I found myself missing him again, but at the same time I was proud because it's like, yeah, this is what it's about. He was in his own space. I remember one time he told me, he said, I'm broke, but I'm in my own space.
There
It's
you go.
peaceful.
There you
And
go.
I have a penny because bills are
Hmm.
paid, but I'm in my own space. And I totally
welcome,
understood that. That's
welcome
like
to adult.
life was lifing for him. That's
Yep.
just, what everybody goes through, and he wasn't the one to ask. He
Right.
would go without or sacrifice or whatever. He wasn't just quick to run back to me and say, Mom, I would have to
Right.
ask. I
Right.
would have to ask or tell, because I know how it is, But anyway, kudos to him for that because he was wanting to,
Yeah.
survive on his own and did it successfully. Moved a
Right.
couple of times, all of that. And so circumstances happened. He had a roommate, and it just happened to be his roommate from, one of his roommates from college. And they both have become real and are still best friends, to this day. And so they moved in together, and a couple of places that was just they got along. They never had spats or whatever. It just worked out for them. But Aaron had an opportunity to go out of state, for a job. And so Nicholas couldn't afford their apartment by himself.
Right.
It's like, okay, what do we do? So I said, okay, this is the plan. And I told him, I said, I already know what you feel because it is hard to come back home. I can
Right.
identify that. But let's come up with a plan. You know what it's like to be out on your own. Take this opportunity to get yourself reestablished, save some money, so that when you do go back out, you know how to manage. You
Right.
can live on your own. And at that time too, it's expensive living here in
Yeah.
Atlanta in the city, and it's very expensive. So yeah, I understood that. He was fortunate enough to have a very good job with Delta at the time, um, and so it just worked out for him. He was going to go back to school, finish his degree, save money, all well and good. And then we had set a time frame. But
Mm.
life happens, and then
Right.
my mother became ill. She had her stroke in the midst of that. And so that in and of itself kind of stopped both of our worlds, because it's like, wow, okay, yeah, how are we going to deal with this? At the time, we didn't know what my mother's prognosis was going to be, because she didn't speak for a month. I didn't know how bad her the effects from her stroke was, and at that point, she was just in the hospital, just didn't know a whole lot. Um, and when we came up with the plan for her it was either a nursing home or to come home, and the choices for the nursing homes weren't that great, just wasn't up to par, wasn't to my satisfaction. So I said, if I can get everything that the nursing home has, if I can have that at home, I'll bring my mother home. But then still thinking, girl, you are not a medical professional. How are you going to
Right.
take care of your mom? And I didn't know. But I sat in that hospital for 30 days and watched those people take care of my mother. And I learned a lot. I knew that putting my mother in a home, I believe her decline would have escalated.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
I believe she would have, just really been depressed. Because I mean,
Okay.
people thrive in the familiar environment.
Right.
So, yeah,
Right.
okay, I took that task on, but I knew that I couldn't do it by myself. And so, Nicholas, my son, was my partner in all of this. And I realized, man, I can't take care of my mother without him.
Right.
He really stepped up to the plate
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
and has been helpful to me and my mother through
Mm-hmm.
this whole ordeal. My mother is bedridden. She can't walk. That's just her prognosis. She won't ever walk. And so she's depending. I'm the main caregiver, but there are certain things that I can't do without him. And so it was almost kind of like a blessing in disguise. While I
Right.
know he wanted to get back out on his own, you
Mm-hmm.
know,
But you see how God
we just
aligned
had
it?
to, we had to pivot.
Mm-hmm.
And we both know and said and had conversations about, okay, we don't know what this time is going to look like, but let me tell you this, don't put your life on hold. You can
Right.
still do and go and be everything you need to be.
Right.
It's just this small piece where I need you. And
Mm-hmm.
should there come a time when you need to go, we're going to be okay.
Right.
Plus, there are resources in place. If I needed to get somebody else over here to help me do what you help me, I'll do that. But I don't ever want you to put your dreams on
Right.
hold, your goals on
Right.
hold. Please know and understand that. And he understands that, because what we do is talk about that. Make
Okay.
sure that we have conversations all the time, because I want to make sure that he doesn't take on the burden of being a caregiver. I have to
Right.
tell him that's my mother. I'm her caregiver. You help
Mm-hmm.
me, but don't be beholding to the situation that's here at home. You're 30,
Right.
and it's not like you're freeloading or not doing, because you have the wherewithal and everything to go out on your own. But I'm thankful that you're here with me to help take care of my mother. Like,
Right.
before I retired, I would travel, for work. I had business travel, a lot. And so he stood in the gap, so that I could travel for work, and be here to help take care of her. We would hire
Right.
someone to come in and help him, but if it weren't for him and his willingness, and I promise you, and I tell you, the care team that would come in, would always commend him, because they were saying, we don't know anybody his age that would take on the responsibility of helping his mom with his
Yeah.
grandma and doing all that he does.
In the capacity
Um,
that he has
so
to.
yeah, so in my case, and I know I have, friends, we compare notes, about kids coming back home. There are various reasons why kids are coming back home, especially now in this climate. Some have to, just simply
Right.
because, of what's available. Our kids go, they get these degrees. Sometimes it's difficult for them to find jobs, you know, um, making the money that they need to make to sustain, to be on their own.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just takes time, takes proper planning. So sometimes they do have to come back into the home. I know people who have whole agreements, I know one lady, she fixed up her basement and made an apartment for her daughter. The daughter
Mm-hmm.
pays rent. But that's a situation that works for them.
All right.
So the boomerang, when we talk about our grown kids coming back home, is different. I think years ago, back in the day, it probably looked or was shunned upon. Like you're supposed to
Yeah.
be, you going back home because you couldn't handle yourself, or you couldn't. Not this day and time.
Yep.
A lot of reasons why. And again, I just make sure, as far as I'm concerned, because having raised a son, a man, it's important for them to have their own,
Yep.
Hmm.
have their own space, their couch,
Space.
their man
Hmm.
cave. So I always
Right.
just do a litmus check with him,
Hmm.
make
Hmm.
sure that he doesn't feel slighted or whatever.
Right. Right.
He's still moving forward towards his goals. It's just that circumstantially, with my situation, because I'm an only child, and it's not like I got brothers and sisters that can help me care for my mom. Unfortunately, I depend on my son to help me take care of my mom. So yeah, my boomerang situation is purposeful, but at the same time, it's limited because
Yeah.
I don't want him to feel like he has to be here.
Has to. Right.
He doesn't have to be here, and I made that very
Absolutely.
clear.
Yeah.
Because I don't
Absolutely.
want him to regret, feel like life is passing him by, or anything like that. So, like I
Right.
said before, we have those conversations so that I can see where his head is, just kind of let him know. We do a check, and we have to, because caregiving is not easy. And I
Yeah.
know this is a conversation on empty nest, and I'm talking more about my caregiving.
That's okay.
Yeah, it's impact. It just crosses the span, dealing with this. And so, yeah, I'm thankful to have a boomerang child at this point, because again, he's
That's right.
he's helpful in the circumstances that I have, caring for my mom. But
And
like I said, I do that check with him,
to make
just
sure.
to let him know, yeah, this is not you. This is not your story. This is not your life. She's my mom, and I am the responsible one
Yeah.
for her. And we'll be okay. We're gonna
Either
be
way.
okay if you need to go. If you want
Either
to
way.
go,
Right.
you want to do, we'll be
Yeah.
okay
Right.
over here.
Yeah.
Right.
So
I do want to add, going back to some of the stuff we talked about in the last episode. Um, you shouldn't have to know a person's situation to mind your business and extend grace. So to the people who may meet someone who says they live at home with their mom or their mom lives with them, you don't know when you're dealing with a Nick who is at this point, because I know I just he just pulled up on me. Wait a minute, don't stop. He just pulled up on me in his new whip, acting like he wanted to race me in my good van. You see what I'm saying? But that's an inside joke that y'all don't know about. But so you don't know why someone, you don't know if you met a guy or yeah, you shouldn't have to go into my mama had a stroke. That should be later on conversation. You know what I mean?
mhm.
Like you to extend
Excuse me.
compassion, bless you, and mind your business. You know what I mean? And so don't miss your blessing out here, young ladies, thinking that because he with his mama and his grandma or who somebody like him, is with their mama. If you don't know, to take the time to get to know the person, because sometimes the best case scenario is you end up meeting a best friend. Everything ain't gonna turn into forever after, happily ever after. And if it's only one Prince Charming, or one per whatever, time of your life. Yeah, so what, it don't cost anything to mind your business and just stop judging people because you don't know. And you
Right.
should not
That's
have
true.
to know I shouldn't have to start all the way back with my brother died and I didn't want to leave my mama by herself and we've been together now. My mama's 73. That's what she is. I'm 54. My daughter 21, and I got a 2-year old. Now, do you feel like you can fit anywhere in here? Because baby, you can run. I probably would if I was you. You can run, but this is the reality of what we got going on. But we ain't gonna get on that rant either. I do want to tell y'all before when we get off, I'm gonna give y'all. I got a good idea, y'all. But we're gonna start wrapping up this episode. We did 9:25. That's not bad, y'all. It's probably some little places we can cut or whatever, but it's not bad. So I'm gonna close this out by just letting people know emptiness. You've heard all of our takes on the emptiness. Doesn't necessarily mean an empty heart. It means that there's room, growth, peace, and maybe, just for you to transition into who you need to be in this phase of life. Stretch your wings, spread your wings. And so if your nest is full, if it's half full, if it's quiet as a whisper, you did your job. Now it's time to do you. That's for you, Tanya. It is time to do you. You hear me? Me and Frida already know that we finna go bungee jumping in the new.
Okay. Have fun.
First of all, I'm scared of heights, so this is a lie. This ain't just a
Have
lie. This
fun.
is a damn lie. This is a lie. However, yeah, I think that it's our time, and we don't have to feel guilty. It's okay to feel however you feel. Just don't stay there. So Tanya,
Mhm.
we know it's fresh because this is the last one. He gone. He is far away. But start putting your plan in place. So he have to try to find you because he be everywhere.
I
So
know.
he's doing
I
his
know.
thing. You got your car, put the pedal
Mhm.
to the metal, and
Mhm.
let's do
And
something.
turn my location off.
Yeah, whatever. Right, because they'll do it.
Yeah.
They'll do it. They will do it. You feel me, y'all? So we want to we would like for you all to if you have like a topic you want us to talk about, if you want to comment on something or you want us to expound on something we've already spoken about, email us at 50ish, it's 50ish podcast at gmail.com. Or we have social media pages. The 50ish podcast is TikTok, Facebook, IG. I hadn't quite figured out X, so I might have to let one of y'all do X because I didn't understand the X from a personal standpoint, so I ain't even yeah.
Mhm.
But let us know if you have feedback. Let us know if you want to be a guest. I'm really, really pleased at how many people really want to come on. So, yeah, we got professional people. We have friends. We just got people want to shoot because sometimes we can do that too. Tanya mentioned something about having a 50ish party. That's a great idea to me, but we'll grow into that. You know what I mean? We'll grow into that for the grown and sexy. I think that'll be beautiful. You know what I mean? And so we thank you all for rocking with us. Like, subscribe, share. At your people. If a certain episode reminds you of cousin so and so, add them or send it to them. Tell them to like, subscribe, and share. So we see you all viewing. Thank you. We see you following. Thank you. We appreciate it. So again, 50ish podcast at gmail.com. Email us if you want to talk about something, if you want us to discuss something. Let us know. If you want to remain anonymous, obviously, I'll know, but we can keep it anonymous. Again, if you're a friend of Frida or a friend of Tanya and you feel like you rather take it to Tanya and let her bring it to us and you trust her to keep it anonymous. However, we're good. We understand. We understand. So we just want to thank you all once again for rocking with us. Everything we're making milestones, y'all, and we're growing as we go. So we thank you for growing with us. We welcome to the 50ish fam. We appreciate you. We
Come
appreciate
on in. Come on in.
come
Come
on in,
on
y'all.
in.
And so we're gonna say bye. We'll see you all next week, same time, same station. And
Yes.
when we put out there that there's a new episode, it's ready right then. When we do a actual live broadcast, we will promote it because we want you all to join and comment
Yeah.
and things like that.
Right.
So thank you all. Until next time, this is 50ish, and we're just getting started. We're 5 episodes in. So, yeah, what's on you? What you be? Yeah, whatever it is. So, see y'all next time.
Bye.